Welcome back, Guardians, to another Destiny 2 video, and today we are going to be talking about what I believe Destiny 2 needs to be a better game, and that's quality of life improvements as well as, limited time events. But before we get into it, it's very important that you follow me on Twitter because my follower count is really crap and low, and I want to feel like I'm worth something. No, I'm just kidding. I'd love to talk to some people, so if you want to, follow me on Twitter. Link is in the video description. On this video, if you'd like to hit the like button, it helps me out immensely. Hit the comment section, leave a comment, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell, hit everything that you can see in sight, but don't hurt yourself. And let's get into it. I don't have any kind of fancy kind of cutscenes of like number 5. I don't have any of that pizzazz. I'm just here reading stuff off a piece of paper, and that's my life right now. So yeah, anyway, let's get into it. First and foremost, and probably the most important thing that this game needs, is an apply shader to all armors button. Oh my god, this needs to be in the game. It's so frustrating and so complex in what it can be. If we look at something like Destiny 1, Destiny 1 was very much just like, I'm going to pick this shader, I'm going to put it on, and it's going to apply to all of my armors, and it's going to look good. In this game, the shaders themselves are kind of deceptive. You see the main colors on the palette, and it doesn't apply to the armors the way you want it to, and it's incredibly frustrating. And on top of that, you then have to go into collections, you have to find the shader you want, because the UI on the collections is just not very good. When you actually find the shader you want, you have to buy 5 of them, and then you have to go into each individual armor and apply them. And I know this is kind of like first world problems, and you don't need to remove that system, but god damn, please add a button where I can just apply it to all. Because if you're going in and you're changing one piece at a time and you're having different colors on each armor piece, what is wrong with you? I'm just kidding. If that's what you do, that's fine. All I want though is a button where I can just hit it once and all the shaders apply to the armor, so I just don't have to waste time going in and out. It's just something that, as a quality of life improvement, I think just needs to be in the game, because it just makes the game easier, quicker and better for everybody. Next, I want to talk about factions. I would like to see factions return permanently, and in the sense of building it into the game, just having it as a passive rank up system. Each faction can have passive bounties, which you do in the game as you're going around. It could be get some crucible kills, get this, get that, go and collect this, go and do a public event. You can just have those bounties added to each and every faction, and what that gives you is, let's just say, inspired by this game, it gives you like the factions tokens, and then those tokens are used to rank up and get engrams and such things. And you don't need to do it as often as like Crucible. You can have every 5 levels when you rank up, gives you a package. And what that does is it allows you to get extra things, and these engrams can have random rolled weapons that are specific to each faction. You can bring back the weapons from the faction rallies. Hell, you can even import the guns from Destiny 1 that were in the factions. I don't care, just have some very specific faction rewards and make them random rolls so that people have a reason to keep chasing this pointless number of ranks. And back in Destiny 1, people used to love ranking up and getting a higher number, just to kind of show off, or just as like a thing where you get on every day and there's something to do. I get my rank up a little bit. And with the factions, then you can throw in the exotic class items too, where let's say you do a bounty with New Monarchy and you get 5 tokens. If you have the exotic class item, you might get 7 tokens or 8 tokens or 10 tokens. Just something to add to the game to make factions important again, or at least semi-important, and give them a reason for being there. Like, all these NPCs now are becoming pointless, they're becoming useless, or already have become useless, and that's a shame, because the world of Destiny should be immersive and not just tied to like 2 or 3 characters. I think the last time I went to the tower, or like the last few weeks, all I've done is gone to Zavala, Shaxx, Gunsmith, and the Prismatic Reactor. That's all I've done. I don't even go to Gambit anymore because I don't particularly like playing Gambit. But in my mind is that all of these NPCs should be involved in the game somehow, like even if it's just an extra passive thing to do every single day. Now, for the third thing that I'm bringing back, it's kind of similar to the factions, but it's tied to the Cryptarch. Now, Cryptarch rank was another thing that people love doing, because getting engrams, taking them to the Cryptarch and leveling up your Cryptarch was just so much fun, and it wasn't even anything that was kind of like extravagant. It was just something you did passively. Now, obviously in this game you get a lot of engram drops across the board, But what I would like to see is that, you know, the engrams don't automatically change into a legendary piece or whatever, but also I want there to be a quicker way to actually implement this into changing the engrams at the Cryptarch. Now, you don't want an inventory full of engrams, so I would like to see prime engrams, umbral engrams right now, and exotic engrams drop into your inventory and you take them to the Cryptarch. Blues can still automatically change into blues, that's fine, but any legendary engrams that drop, once you pick them up in the world, they automatically get transported to, I don't know, let's say a kiosk next to the Cryptarch, and then when you're in the tower and your inventory has been emptied, you can then go to that kiosk, pick up all the legendary engrams that you have picked up throughout the day, take them to the Cryptarch, decrypt them. You know, you get legendary armors, legendary weapons, you know, the usual things you get from those legendary engrams, but you also rank up the Cryptarch. Now, what I thought for the Cryptarch was that like every 2 levels or something, you get a glimmer bonus. So you get like 5,000 glimmer for getting him up 2 ranks. Get him up 5 ranks and you can get some like materials from planets and they can be random. So, you know, there's just a passive way of getting glimmer, of getting planetary materials and stuff like that. Or even 5 and 10, so every 5 levels you get planetary materials, every 10 levels you get some glimmer. You know, just something to keep the Cryptarch useful. You know, you're constantly going to him every day, you're just doing things with him, you're getting your rank higher and higher. You know, and then you can say to your friend, oh, what's your Cryptarch rank? And he's like 170, and then you're like, oh, mine's 180. You know, and it just adds that kind of usefulness and that kind of like extra aspect to things that you're doing every day anyway, and it makes the NPCs important. That's what I would like to see. Now, for the 4th thing that I want to come back, I'm going to swing it kind of back to the shaders a little bit. Whether you're in the collections or you're at the gunsmith buying upgrade modules or whatever it is you're buying, I wish there was an option that you could enter a number into and then obtain that number of things. So you go to the upgrade modules in the gunsmith and you buy 5 of them, then you click on it once and then a box comes up and you type the number 5, because every console has a way of typing into the game. You know, you type 5 and then it comes up with the amounts of total materials that you're going to spend, and then you can confirm it, just so that you don't have to sit there clicking things over and over and over and over again. I know getting 5 isn't that big of a deal when you just click it 5 times, but it's just, for me, it's just a quality of life thing that needs to be put into the game. And also, in the same vein of not having to click so often, first world problems, I know, I understand, but you know, when you go to Crucible, for instance, and you have 700 tokens, I would like an option where instead of just turning in like 10 tokens at a time, you just hand in all your tokens if you wish to. So you have at the top, you have like the normal 10, you can click it and it gives 10 tokens. I don't understand why anyone would just be giving 10 tokens anyway. People would be going to hand in tokens because they want to level up and get packages. So at the very least, I would just like to see a button where you click it once and it takes you to your next rank, and it just removes the amount of tokens that would take from your total. Or, you know, just have a hand in all button where I can hand in all 700 tokens, and then it just gives me a new page with 12 engrams on it, you know, that I have got from those tokens, and then I can just click those engrams and get the rewards from it, or get the engrams and take them to the Cryptarch to get the rewards. You know, having to spam gunsmith materials like over and over and over again, or going to each planet and handing in materials, it's just, I'm breaking my buttons on my controller. Not really, but you know, it's something that's not needed. People go to get packages, so just let me press the button once and get to the next rank and get that package at the very, very least. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about is limited time events. You know, Crucible in general is fine at the moment. You know, there's a lot of rotation, there's a lot of new things, it's different every single week. The playlists are set up a little bit better than when it was at launch, and I'm happy with the way PvP is. What I would like to see though is limited time events, like the reason I made the 4 exotics on a Titan, Warlock and Hunter videos was because I would like to actually see that in the game. So why not have a limited time event for, you know, a day or a weekend where you can just throw on 4 exotics and go and fight each other in Crucible, and you don't even need to have massive rewards for doing it. You know, I think it'd just be fun for people to do, and if you have it on for a couple of days, I don't think people are going to really care about the reward system in that kind of playlist. It's just people want to dick about and have some fun, and it's just there to have it. So have an extra playlist in the Crucible list that's limited time events, and it just shows up like twice a month with different limited time events. You know, one of those could be sword only, where you start off with, you know, I don't know, like 4 or 5 swings with your sword and everyone's just swording each other, or even give them the hive sword and people just whack each other with the swords. I think that would be incredibly fun. You know, you could have a hide and seek mode where all the UIs are disabled. You know, the seeker gets held back for like 30 seconds while everyone goes and hides in the map, and then when that seeker catches someone, he then also becomes a seeker. You know, nobody knows where anyone is because names aren't there, the map's not there, the UI is not there. You know, I think that could just be something very, very just silly and fun that they could add to the game, and I don't think it would take that much effort, in my opinion. And one of the limited time events that I really want back is Sparrow Racing League. The fact that Sparrow Racing League is not in this game is just atrocious to me. It's abysmal decision making, because SRL was a fan favorite of pretty much everyone. It was something completely different, which was implemented extremely well, and fun, exciting things to do. And you know, there was like shaders that you could get from SRL, there was sparrows that you could get, and it was just so good to have in the game, and a reason to, you know, have specific sparrows, have different shaders, and a reason to play it. It was just so damn good, and the fact that it's not in this game is heartbreaking to me, because SRL was probably the most fun I have ever had on a Destiny game. And even just the honking of horns, how annoying that was, it was still funny, and I would just like to see things like that back in Destiny 2. And maybe with the vaulting system and bringing things back, SRL may make an appearance, but I really want it in the game. I think it would just be incredibly fun. So anyway, those are my 5 things that I think Destiny 2 needs to improve. And yeah, let me know what you think down below in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe. Tell me what you would want to see in Destiny 2 as well. Let me know what you think about my choices to put into Destiny 2. Subscribe, follow me on Twitter, all that good stuff. Thank you for watching. I've been easynow. You guys have been awesome.